All right. We're going to do a little fun story, and we're going to learn this other past tense. More of a line past, where it's like I used to do something, or like I was doing something.
Is that like when you went to school or used to live in England?
Exactly.
Like a long thing.
So if you imagine that past timeline from the beginning of the universe, the Big Bang, or the whatever you believe is the beginning of that universe, right? There's a line up until the end of time, maybe. And then there's the present tense that's constantly moving, right? So I ate, I crashed, I killed, I lost, I won, all dots. But I used to go to school, I used to sell cars, I was walking to school, right? This really makes you imagine like a long period of time. It could have been, I was walking to school 100 meters away, and that's 100 meters that you want to express as a line. You could also say, I walked to school, and you just made it into a dot. So sometimes you decide what you want the person you're speaking with to understand or to feel from what you're saying. Do you want it to feel like one moment, or do you want them to feel like if it was like a story of something that was going on, right?
So if you're explaining the details of walking to school, you would say like, I was walking to school and this was my experience.
Exactly. That's why this verb tense is very conducive to storytelling. And a lot of storytellers will like to use this verb tense, right? Especially if you like to talk about your day and like go into description. Whereas somebody who's a little bit more mathematical, a little bit more like direct.
I walked to school, then I went to class, then I did it like
exactly
one dot after another. Okay.
Exactly. So very robotic. I walked to school, I saw this thing, I did this thing, and boom, that was my day. We all know people that are very direct to the point, and we all have people like me who like, I walked to school and it's like a 20-minute story with all these crazy things that maybe happened. And then you learn a couple of words, right? So everybody close your eyes. Now, in order to access this line past, right, or the wing past, just however you want to imagine it, it could be a line or a wing, right? So wing because it's like something that you were doing. I was walking, you've got a W and an ing. I was walking, right? You were speaking, there's again a W and an ing, right? I was, you were, we were, right? So it's a W with an ing, something that you were doing. Or it's a line past because it represents a line of what you were doing. So line past or wing past, imagine it's your birthday and everybody else forgot. But I remembered your birthday from the first course. So luckily I wanted to surprise you with something magical on your birthday. I planned it at the last minute, obviously, because I'm a little disorganizado in that sense. But I wanted to take you to a special concert because I know that you love ABBA. Dancing Queen, young and sweet, right? I know you love ABBA and you're a huge ABBA fan. I don't think ABBA is doing concerts anymore. So we're going to have to travel in time to actually experience an ABBA concert. So I went to the local dealership of time-traveling Pegasus, as I would. But because I didn't make a reservation, they're all out of regular-sized Pegasus. All they have available for me is a small Italian Fiat pony, time-traveling pony. But it's an Italian time-traveling pony, so it's a ponilla. Ponilla. It's a time-traveling ponilla with my nice accent Italiano. A time-traveling ponilla. So I get this time-traveling ponilla and I fly down to your house to pick you up and surprise you. I say, jump on, we're going on an adventure. We run down the street in a straight line. There's fire and flames coming out of the hooves and we're going in a straight line. The wings spread out majestically and the time-traveling ponilla starts flapping those wings, takes off, and we travel back in time. Now, because we've got a time-traveling ponilla, we're going to stop by and pick up young Freddie Mercury when he was 17 years old. Because why wouldn't we? If we had a time-traveling ponilla, why wouldn't we pick up 17-year-old Freddie Mercury? And then as we pick him up, we've got you and I and Freddie Mercury comedically stacked up on this time-traveling ponilla like a bunch of people on a scooter, very, very comedically stacked. And we're flying again in a straight line. Those wings are spreading majestically, and we fly into the past, and we land in the ABBA concert or we arrive at the ABBA concert, we're still flying in the air, and ABBA sees us, and they start singing, Flying Queen, young and sweet, only 17. Ah. So what are we flying on?
Ponilla.
On a ponilla, and what are we flying to?
ABBA.
ABBA. The ponilla spreads his wings and flies in a straight
Line.
That's all you need to know. Everything else was all unimportant. The important thing is it's a time-traveling
Ponilla.
ponilla who runs in a straight line and spreads his wings and flies to ABBA. ABBA and Ia. ABBA and Ia. This is this one, right? So how would you say, I used to eat meat? Which one are we going to be using, ABBA or Ia, you think?
Comía.
Comía. Carne. I used to speak French.
Hablaba francés.
Hablaba francés. How would you say, I used to write you every day?
Ponio.
I used to write.
Escribio.
Oh, is it a time-traveling ponillo? Or a time-traveling poni... A time-traveling
Poni.
poni...
Pony.
Ponilla.
Ponilla.
It's a ponilla.
Okay.
So I used to write you every day?
Escribio.
You're thinking that because you're thinking first person is always an O. Right? But
No, I forgot the pony word again.
it's a time-traveling
Ponilla?
ponilla.
Ponilla.
Ponilla matata.
And a girl pony. Okay, that helps. That helps.
Girl.
It's pink pony.
It's a pink pony. It's a pink pony. Very good trick. I love it.
Okay, ponilla. Ponilla. Escribía.
And I used to write you?
Te.
Te.
Te escribió. Escribía. Escribía. The pony's pink. Te escribía.
All the days.
Todos el días.
That works for me. See? How do you say it? Like one thing. So plural them is?
Los.
Todos los días. Te escribía todos los días. In speaking, it's often like todos los días. Cada día, cada día, cada día. Every day. Right? Speaking about emotions, I was teaching a Turkish guy Spanish, and he went from zero Spanish to dating a girl from, where was she from? Venezuela. A Venezuelan girl who didn't speak any English. So he was learning Spanish to communicate with her, and they were dating for like a month or a couple months, I think, actually. And he would tell me, like, oh, I learned some words today. Oh, what? Oh, we got into a fight. And she was like, oh, every day is always the same. So she was like, cada día, cada día, cada día. And then he's like, every time he wants to use the word cada, he just thinks of her going, cada día, cada día, cada día. So cada means every.
Can we just go back to the pony and ABBA?
Yes. Let's get back to our ponies.
Ponilla.
Ponilla.
Ia and ABBA. Ponilla, ABBA. Okay.
Yeah. How would you say, what's to put?
Pona.
Yes. Pronounced? Poner. How would you say, I used to put it every day? I used to put it every day.
Lo.
Lo.
Ponaría.
Shorter.
Ponía. Lo ponía.
Every day. All the days.
Cada day.
Cada día.
Cada día. Cada día. That's one.
So ponía, that it actually is a verb, right? It's I used to put. So the ponía gives you the ia, which can use to any er and ir verb. It also gives you ponía, which is I used to put.
Can I ask a question about escribas? Shit, tú escribas o yo escribas?
No, but what's the full verb for to write?
Escribir.
So whenever you want to say I used to in your head, you say, okay, I'm in the past tense. What makes more sense right now? Is it a dot or is it a line? I used to write. It's a line. Therefore, you're running the straight line on your
Ponía.
ponilla. It's a pony with an a at the end. Ponilla.
Escribía.
Yes. Escribía. He used to write is
Same.
The same, which is?
Escribía.
Escribía. She used to write.
Escribía.
Escribía. It used to write.
Escribía.
What would you add for you used to write?
An S.
Add an S. So you have?
Escribías.
Escribías. What do you add for them and y'all used to write?
Escribían.
Escribían. What do you add for we used to write?
Escribíamos.
Escribíamos. What's I used to speak?
Hablaba.
Hablaba. How do you say he, she, it used to write? Used to speak?
Hablaba.
Hablaba, the same. What do you add for you used to speak?
Hablabas.
Yay! What do you add for they used to speak?
Hablaban.
But we used to speak?
Hablábamos.
Hablábamos. So that entire verb tense can be summarized with if we're flying in a straight line with the winged ponilla to an ABBA concert. Once you have that key, I was flying on a ponilla in a straight line with the wings to an ABBA concert, that gives you 4 important elements. That gives you the ponilla for ER and IR verbs. You take off the ending and you replace it with?
Ia.
Ia. We're flying towards what concert?
ABBA.
ABBA. So we're going to take off the ending for AR verbs and we're going to put ABBA. Right? And it's a straight line with the wings because it's a line pass and it's the wing. I was doing, I was eating, or I used to do, right?
You used the pony to get there.
I used the pony. I used to use the ponilla. Very good. And that gives you every other verb because in all the Spanish verb tenses, for you, I always add an S. And for they or you all, I always add N. And for we, I always add
Mos.
the most. Any questions? How simple is this? Right? Take off, if it's an AR verb, we take off the AR and we put
Ia.
Yeah.
AR verbs.
ABBA.
ABBA. How do we know that ABBA connects with AR verbs? The A is already there. It's a cheat sheet. And if it's not ABBA, it's going to be
Ia.
IA. How do we know that IA goes with the ER and IR verbs?
The I in there.
There's an I already in there. Also, it's not an A. However you want to see it, right? Hablaba, comía. Hablabas, comías. Hablaban, comían.
Hablábamos.
Comíamos.
Yes, louder.
Comíamos.
Yes! Great!
I was so intrigued by stories, so.